We are in a space still where people are still not taking responsibility for what is happening. Welcome back to my channel, the place for the rebellious and the unruly. Over here, understanding self. So today I want to talk about knife crime and this war on knife crime, which is ridiculous because a war on knives in itself, what does that even mean? Now this thing is multi-tiered, it's multi-layered, and there's so many aspects to it which is not being covered. And I think the main thing that I want to look at today is I actually had a couple of newspapers come through my door, 3 publications, and it was mums are marching for like a war on knives, knife crime. Look, knives do not kill people. People kill people. There are a lot of ignorant adults out here that have raised ignorant people, ignorant young people, generations. We're talking about guys in their 60s that still have a mentality of this war, of this postcode war, right? They still very much believe in ownership of territory, which it doesn't belong to you. It doesn't belong to you, okay? I mean, your people haven't even invested in their home. They haven't even bought their home. Not that that really means anything as such, but it's like you are warring about postcode. You haven't even got a stake in where you live. So it makes even less sense. So let me bring it back. So when I'm talking about knives don't kill people, I'm talking about these young people that are dying on the back of the knife. Yeah, these young people stabbing young people have got old, ignorant people raising them. It's been passed down through generation that where you live, the postcode that you live in means something. Yeah, you uphold your territory like you're in a war. We're in London, okay? You don't own shit. You don't own shit. But yet still this information that has been filtered down to the younger and the younger and the younger generation, they really have this belief now that they're standing for something, and you ain't standing for shit. You're upholding your bigger brother or your dad's or even your mum's understanding of what it means to survive in a place you don't need to survive. I don't know what you're surviving against, yeah? So you have these parents now that are waging war on knife crime and what are you, listen, these kids have a lack of understanding. You raise these kids, yeah, and you haven't given these kids explanations on how society as a whole works. So you've put your kids in school and you've left it to teachers to teach them about all different aspects of society, which basically it's not their job. It's not their job to teach that. It's not a teacher's job to get them to understand every aspect of society. It's your job. It's you raising these children, right? So now you have a set of children that have missed, that haven't had the explanation. So you've sent your kids to school. You haven't invested in them in terms of what they need to know to survive, not survive, but to live and to flourish as adults. So you've left your kids to play out on the road, and they've gained their knowledge and their understanding from the road. And that lack of knowledge, that lack of understanding has come from what I said in that beginning, that ignorant adult that knew nothing themselves, right? And when these kids are out here now living in that reality that the postcode, the area really means something, like some school argument, yeah? So you've got kids, you've got adults that never grew up as kids. You've got adults that never grew up, never moved past a certain level of understanding, then raised kids. So you've got this whole generation of just outright ignorance, lack of awareness, lack of self, lack of everything, yeah? That are now on these streets here killing each other. Like, when these kids, like, there's this you know, you get this sadness that the person that has killed the other person, oh, it's them, and then it repeats itself because now they have to get back that person for killing that person, and so on and so forth. And all it boils down to is that understanding, that not knowing, that unawareness, that social awareness of what the hell is going on in this reality. What is it really about? And people latch onto these different realities and make it so real. So when these kids are out there and they're fighting these battles, this war, this non-existent war, it doesn't exist, yeah? You do not own your postcode. You do not own E anything, N anything, NW, South. You don't own them. Your mum don't even own them. And even if she has bought a house, even if she has bought a yard, she still don't bloody own it in that way. You understand? So you're fighting this invisible war, this war against yourself, because what, you don't like the look of someone? Because why? Because they come from over there. Raised a generation of people that now believe the same shit as you. And then everyone else is out here like, oh, war on knives. What are you gonna do? The knife in itself is a tool, It takes the person to pick it up, to have an understanding, to take a life, to plunge that into somebody, to have this real belief in what they're doing. Because, you know, once you see the mums in the news, and like I said, it was a newspaper, and the mums wanting to march. Who are you marching to? And I know it's harsh, but what are you marching for? The lack of understanding that you gave that child, in the environment that you're in and the setup that you've been set up in terms of, you know, who are your parents? What investments, or what did they leave you? You might have not had that, yeah? So obviously you don't have an advantage in a sense that you can move and go somewhere where parents are sharing. How many minutes am I into here? Parents are sharing the same understanding of how to raise kids and so on. Sometimes we're just in this melting pot, and you have to kind of fight to get your child to understand your reality. You know what I mean? Because, you know, sometimes when they're younger, that excitement, that running up and down, that something else is going on, looks more exciting. But at the same time, every day there's a conversation that needs to occur with your kids. It can't be just, and I know it is sometimes, that you're busy with work and you're busy with this, so you just kind of hope, it's just on a hope and a prayer that your kids won't take up on the knife thing. You understand what? Take up on that mentality. And obviously there's media that kind of pushes or glamorizes the whole gun crime thing. You know, the whole, you heard the tune, the gun lean and things like that, and it's a catchy beat. It's like, yeah. But what is really the core of what is happening behind there is an ignorance, is a lack of understanding. So when you're going on these marches now to end war, and when you're asking government to do something about it, and the only thing they can do, because they don't understand, at the core, when you're asking for government bodies to support you in taking knives off the street, like, you can't take mentality. Well, actually they can, because their thing is to lock you up, right? You tell them, help us with the knife crime. They say, well, no, let's just take the ignorant answers off the street and lock them up. That's all they can do, because they don't have the understanding of the real world that these boys that are killing each other are living in. The real belief that, no, man's up on my ends. Like yours, babe. And you as the parent, there's no point marching up and down the street to say, my boy was an innocent boy. He was innocent when he was in the yard talking to you. But when he was on the road, he was real about the thing. It was real for him. Yeah, when he was in the yard, he was respectful and, you know, he didn't disrespect. Yes, babe, he didn't. He was a good boy. I fucking believe you. Most of the boys sitting in prison, they're good boys. I fucking believe you. But the beliefs that they have about this territory, about this disrespect, about this loyalty thing, about this money, that's very real for them. So when they're out there chivvying up people, they really believe what they're doing. You've got to understand that. You can't have expectation to walk up and down the street, war on knife, or war on anything. You can't war anything. You can't war anything. Because what are you really warring? It's a change of mindset. It's a change of understanding. And you can't now leave a set of people that rule a society to now take control of knife crime. What are they going to do? They don't understand it. I'm telling you, sit down in front of them and you say to them, yeah, so basically why did they get stabbed? What was going on? Yeah, because they live there and they live there. I'm telling you, these politicians know nothing of what you speak. They know nothing. That wasn't their reality. They never grew up in that. They grew up in business. It's like a Sims game. Yeah, it's like Sims. You give a set of people to rule a reality, they're going to create it in the way that they understand it. And they don't understand you. They don't understand where you're coming from. They don't understand your social class. They don't understand that your kids have a particular understanding. They can never raise their kids like that. They raise their kids horse riding. You understand what I'm saying? So now when you're sitting there with war on this and war on this, and we want the politician, what the hell do you want them to do? Raise your kids? Seriously, what do you want them to do? They're going to do what's best. They're going to protect themselves because they now think it's some danger that everyone's rampaging about the streets with knives. So let's build a prison. So every time we see someone that we can't connect to, you'll be looking at you like, what the fuck are they talking about? It's like the music. They think, what the fuck are they talking about? You understand? And if they get one of their kids dancing to that, no, that flies here for a message again. Dancing to the music, they just think, oh, it's just the rebel state that they're going through. You understand what I'm saying? So, my message in here is knives are not killing people. People are killing people through lack of everything. Lack of financial, emotional, intellectual education. And that lack has gone down from generation to generation with the same ignorant asses. So, and this is what you need to get, because if you're here and you're understanding me and what I'm saying here, it means you have a higher understanding of what's going on. But I know that you're in the reality and you're in the space where this is just what's happening, and it feels hard to jump outside of that. But if you're one of them young guys, I want you to, all them thoughts that you're thinking about how you get on the other side of this, your understanding of this, you have to think bigger than this. That's what's going on. You understand what I'm saying? Because your uncle, your dad, your whoever might have failed you just in terms of being able to explain the reality of what's going on. You understand? They might be teaching you from a place of fear. You're still missing the reality. You're still missing what you're inside of. You are the only ones to be able to help you and to be able to educate your kids around themselves, like what it really is. You understand? You don't want that knock on your door. You don't want to lose your son, and you don't want that knock on your door. You don't want someone coming to your door and saying, your son's gone. You understand what I'm saying? My son's gone. Why is your son gone? And it's not all the time that it's like, oh, they were so good, they were in the wrong place, wrong time. You got to be able to tell your boys, like, it's more than just being in the wrong place. They weren't in the wrong place. They knew where they were and they knew what was going on. You understand? Half of these acts are not all the time random. Put the message clearer, not nice. It's lack of understanding, it's lack of knowing, lack of an education, lack of you really following through and being there. War on anything is not the answer. Is not the answer. So I'm gonna leave it there. I'm so hungry. I wasn't frothing at the mouth. Get myself some Lebanese food. It's an understanding. It's not a war. War's never solved anything yet. So yeah, let me leave that one for you, and I will catch you in a next video. You like my hairstyle? All right, see you soon.